everyone. Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we're going to be continuing My Hero Academia, The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 2, Part 5. As always, if you are new to the channel or if you're a regular and like what we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. So with the last few parts of Season 2 just around the corner, we're coming to the climax of our story in the raid of the Shie Saikai, as Izuku and company come face to face with Overhaul, who has joined an alliance with key members of the Court of Owls, and particularly with their newest trained assassin, that one being known as the Talon, but you know him better as Yuga Aoyama. But what led Aoyama down this life? How did he end up becoming the Talon? And as Izuku comes face to face with a former classmate and thought to be friend, how will he be able to handle the dark truths of this world? Will he be able to overcome? Will they be able to save Eri? Can Aoyama be saved? For all this and more, stay tuned as we now continue today's story. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Within the underground, the battle between the heroes and villains would intensify. Izuku, aka the Batman, face to face with Aoyama, aka Talon, while Mirio, Melissa, and Jinx fended off against Overhaul, attempting to shield Eri and keep her safe in the process, as the other heroes were making their way, hoping to back them up and to aid them. As Izuku came face to face with Aoyama, he would yell out to him, asking him why he had done this, why he had become what he was. I would hope you would show me the same courtesy and not go blabbing out my name. Here, I am simply Talon. And you are simply the Batman. But why? Why are you? I was born into this. This is my life, all I've ever known. This is who I truly am. The Aoyama you used to know, the Aoyama you think you know, he was nothing more but a figment of your imagination. Someone carefully constructed to be what you thought he was. This is the true me, who I truly am, who I truly want to be. Is that really what you want? To live this type of life? A life of want and murder? That's the way of the world. Many dark things happen in the underground. Things I'm sure not even you could be fully aware of. In the end, this world, the weak will always be in servitude to the strong. That is simply the law. That is how things work. As they continued on in their fight, Melissa, channeling the power of One for All, would attempt to deliver a devastating strike to Overhaul, who attempted to counter with a touch and disintegrate her to pieces. However, before having a chance to do so, Mirio would use permeation, sliding through at the last moment, delivering a roundhouse kick, as Jinx would use her power over some rubble that was starting to fall from the ceiling, hoping to bury him once and for all. The three had been putting forth great effort, but Overhaul was managing to overcome them, having absorbed one of his goons into himself, creating two more pair of monstrous arms. The now four-armed Overhaul would loom over the three as he looked them under his bird mask, a glare of hatred and vitriol beginning to ooze off of him, creating an aura of sorts that was almost choking, the bloodlust filling the air. Lambs to the slaughter. That's what you so-called heroes are. Why are you getting in my way? Why does it matter to you what happens to this girl? She's your daughter, Mirio would say. How could you do something to your own daughter? You're her father, aren't you? You're supposed to protect her. Daughter? Oh, that's what you think. I hate to break it to you, but I don't have a daughter. That girl, her family, tell them what you did, Eerie. Eerie would begin to shake. She could hardly recall that day, but thanks to Overhaul, he made sure that she never forgot. Tell them what you did, Eerie. You were such a bad, bad girl. Everywhere you go, people get hurt. People suffer. People die all because of you and your selfishness. You're a spoiled, greedy little brat. And now all this death is going to be on you. I hope you're proud of yourself. Shut up! Mirio would rush towards Overhaul as Overhaul would attempt to strike him, only for him to dodge as Mirio used permeation once again, delivering a roundhouse kick to his face, followed by a series of punches before knocking him back against the wall. You're gonna be done with that. Your fight is with us. Leave her out of it. Oh, you want to play the hero, huh? Tell me something. Do you understand the rules of being a hero? What it truly entails? It means that every day of your life, you risk your very existence for those whom you do not know, for things that you do not understand. I'm getting bored just looking at you. Tell me, you have that kind of resolve, kid? You haven't even lived your life. You haven't even become an adult. What do you know? What do you truly know? You know nothing. When it comes to experience, you're still wet behind the ears. I've seen countless people like you, all star-eyed and full of hope and vigor, but then reality sets in. Do you know what a man will truly beg for when he's on the verge of death? Have you ever seen that? I have. I've watched men bigger and stronger than you cower like little bitches in the corner. Right before they die, they beg, they plead, they pee themselves, they shit their pants. They pray to whatever God they believe in, if they ever believed at all. They beg to be spared. They promise never to be heroes. They say they give up. They say they'll put away the mask and the cape. And you know something? I relish killing them the most because they're the hypocrites. They're the ones that succumb to the disease that is heroism. They talked the big game, but when it was time for them to lay those cards on the table, they folded. They folded like laundry. They folded and crumbled up like a weak piece of paper. Seriously, no backbone to speak of. And then there's you three. Sure, you're all talking a big game now, but what are you gonna do when that boa constrictor starts to wrap itself around your neck? What are you gonna do when you're gasping for air? When you feel your consciousness leaving your body? When you chose to step against me, you signed your death warrant. And now, I'm the one that's gonna cash in. So, I guess in a roundabout way of saying it, you could say that I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for you to give up. Because when you do, that's when I know I've won. On the other side of the battlefield, Izuku would continue to strike against Aoyama. The two seemed to be pretty evenly matched, although Aoyama had him beat in terms of overall experience. Izuku was able to hold his own, but Aoyama was keeping him on the defensive. You've been trained well, from what I'm able to see. The fact that you can hold your own against me for this long is a testament to your skill. Truly, I'm impressed. Aoyama, it doesn't have to be this way. Shut up! Here, it's only Talon. That is my name. I am no one else. Do you truly believe that? Do you really believe that there's no other way? I know there's no other way. I've known that since the day I was born. That's how it's always been, and that is how it will always be. There can be no other option. Then why not just reveal who I am sooner? If you truly are who you are, you could have easily destroyed all of us. I didn't do it because I respect you. You respect me? You're quirkless, right? That means everything you've gotten, everything you've achieved, you've done it with the work of your own two hands. For that, you earned my respect. Sure, I could have easily revealed your secret identity to the higher-ups. All of you, I'm privy to that information since I was a spy. But still, I like to think that I hold some autonomy over my life. That, at the very least, I can make some decisions for myself. I may not be able to choose how I live or what I do, but I can at least choose to do things on my term. And I decided I don't want to fight you in a shameful way. I want you at your absolute best. I want you giving me your all. So because of that, I wasn't going to expose who you are. Because I knew that our paths would cross. That one way or another, we'd find ourselves in the very moment we're in right now. And now I want to see who's the best, me or you. Aoyama would continue his assault against Izuku. Izuku could hear commands coming through his communicator. It was from Bruce. He was advising him on the steps to take as he battled against Aoyama. He was able to analyze his fighting style, and the boy definitely lived up to the hype. If he was this skilled, whoever trained him definitely didn't overlook anything. He just hoped that the backup could arrive in time. A hole would be made through one of the closed-in doors as Sir Nai would join into the fray. He would jump in between Izuku and Talon, kicking away at Talon as he stood beside him. Are you all right? I'm fine. But sir, I can handle... You're holding back. I know what's going on. You're compromised, aren't you? What? It's okay. It's not like I'm looking to try to kill either. We can incapacitate him together. You think so? Talon stood back up, snapping his fingers. Instantly, more foot soldiers would stand behind him. If you think it's that simple, then by all means, Go ahead and try. Both Izuku and Sir Nai would battle against Talon and the foot soldiers. Although, as they fought against them, they began to feel an eerie feeling of it all. The foot soldiers, every time they made contact, they felt cold, almost as if they weren't even alive. And when one of their masks was knocked off, they saw firsthand. There are many people with great quirks and abilities in our society. Among them, those capable of using the dead. It's a reanimation quirk. I would hardly call them alive. Maybe zombie would be more appropriate. They can't feel anything. They can't be killed. Use as much lethal force as you want. They'll just keep coming. Izuku and Sir Nai knew this. They had been badly beaten, stabbed, cut in every which way. They could tell that at this point they were going to be worn down. Even Izuku was being advised by Bruce to use whatever lethal methods he had possible. Decapitation will likely be the only way. But sir, am I even... You shouldn't concern yourself with that. They're not alive anymore, Izuku. This is an abomination of life. The best thing you could do for them right now is to stop their body by any and all means. Izuku would have to take this in stride, as he and Sir Nai would work together against them. In the meantime, Mirio, Melissa, and Jinx would continue to fend off against Overhaul. Overhaul had now taken to using a gun and the quirk erasing bullets, with now the three having to keep out of range, not just for being shot and losing their power, but also because of Overhaul's immense strength and of his quirk's ability. It was simply trying to see who would get the first strike on who. That would be the telltale sign of who would get the victory. The terrain within the underground had all but been shifted, thanks to Overhaul and his ability, creating spiked-edged rocks to protrude from the ground. The others would have to keep on their paces at all times in order to avoid the lethal strikes. Eerie, in the meanwhile, was being shielded away by Mirio, and that thus made him the prime target. Melissa and Jinx would try to strike in whenever they could, but they couldn't get close enough. He was managing to keep them at bay, keeping them fended off well while he continued his pursuit of Eerie. All he had to do was take her and get out of here. He could destroy everyone else, no problem. But getting back the girl, that was the primary objective. He knew what would happen if he failed. He had come too far to stop now. He had worked too hard for things to end here. As he continued his pursuit, Eerie would be shielded away in Mirio's cape. Using permeation, he was able to avoid the bullets just fine. However, he knew that Eerie, on the other hand, would be a different story. He had to protect her and fend off against Overhaul all at once. And safe to say, Overhaul was pushing him to his paces, although Mirio was able to get the drop on him just a few times. However, in the end, at one time he didn't get so lucky. While attempting to shield Eerie, Mirio was struck in the back. He could feel his quirk leaving him. He was ordinary. And now Overhaul had a weak link in the chain. He had a target. Melissa and Jinx would create an opening as best they could for Mirio and Eerie to try to get away. However, Mirio at the last second would throw Eerie high in the air. Jinx would see what was happening and she leaped up to catch the girl, as multiple spiked rocks would protrude from the ground, stabbing Mirio on both sides, causing him to stand in place. Overhaul was now walking close behind him. Mirio was unable to move. He was stuck. Overhaul took his time. Of course, he wasn't going to take too much. Couldn't allow Eerie to get away. But this was that cathartic moment he had been waiting for. As Mirio turned and saw Overhaul looming behind him. Overhaul could see the sweat, the look of fear and desperation. It's just like I said. They all cower in the end. But you know what? Since I took your quirk, I'm going to give you a chance. Say that you were wrong. Say that you were wrong about being a hero. I want you to admit how much of a failure you truly are. And I'll let you leave with your life. No, I'm not. I don't regret anything. Stubborn till the end, huh? Okay. Hey, Eerie. Wherever you are, I hope you're watching. Jinx tried to shield Eerie's eyes so she wouldn't see what happened next. Izuku and Sir Night-Eye saw what was about to happen too, but they couldn't get close to him. Melissa was trying to get there as best she could as well, but even she was being held off by the never-ending change of the environment around her, with multiple jagged rocks and edges keeping her at bay as she tried to smash her way through. For Mirio, he thought it was over. Overhaul was now just behind him, his hand about to touch the back of his head. In an instant, he knew he was going to be reduced to nothing. But still, even in the end, if it meant that she was alright, then this was a small price to pay. He closed his eyes. He looked up and saw Sir Night-Eye trying to race towards him. However, the undead Talon soldiers were holding him back. Mirio! Sir Night-Eye. It's okay. Really. It's all for the greater good. I'll be okay. Just as Overhaul's hand was about to touch the back of Mirio's head, from out of nowhere, two batarangs would pierce Overhaul in the shoulders. He yelled out in pain. In an instant, as a sonic scream could be heard also, he was sent flying back from Mirio, and followed by that were multiple arrows made out of lightning that shot at him and stunned him in place, just long enough for the finishing strike. Howitzer, impact! Multiple explosions would be fired off in front of Overhaul, knocking him back a good distance. Within the smoke, 3 silhouettes could be seen. Izuku recognized 2 of them, but the third, it was Jiro and Kaminari. They had made it. Well, looks like the cavalry arrived just in time. Stay on guard, Dolt. He's gonna get back up. Let him. I've been waiting to see what I can do. Guys, you made it. Izuku would quickly make an opening for Sir Night-Eye to get to Mirio, as they helped to get him from his stuck position, trying their best to close up the wounds and get him somewhere safe. Mirio, are you alright? We have medical personnel on the surface, Kaminari would say. If we can get him there, then his wounds can be treated in time. Overhaul would get back up to his feet, locking eyes on the one that fired that explosion in his face. Like rats crawling from out of the gutters. You maggots just don't stop, do you? Who in the hell do you think you are? Who am I? Tell me something. Are you the bastard that hurt that little girl? So what if I am? Well, for starters, you just made my job a whole lot easier. Because now I know who to let out all my anger on. I'm not like my companions here. They believe in second chances, redemption. For a guy like you, the only thing you deserve is to be sent to hell. And today's your lucky day, because I'm going to be your personal tour guide. And don't worry, this one's on the house. As for my name, you can call me the Red Hood. This concludes My Hero Academia: The Dark Knight Returns. What If Deku Was Batman? Season 2, Part 5. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue with Part 6. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.